I'll be focusing on eligibility and the marriage market in Persuasion and what it means to do. So, Persuasion is Austen's was final completed work, A Tale of Lovers, which is arguably the most effective novel of the personal life, incorporating a social commentary on life and love in Regency England. So, Shakespearean concept Persuasion is a romance, a tale of separated lovers, and the world has kept them apart. Alice Stroud acknowledges that Austen's separated lovers are not an uncommon phenomenon, with literature recording their unfortunate tales over time. Persuasion is Austen's take on this current saga of separated objections. In Georgian England, marriages and courtships were all determined by eligibility. The desirability and worthiness of the match were dependent on many factors, not only those looked for in today's society, such as handsomeness and personality, but also status, wealth, profession, accomplishments, and of course, parent approval. When originally looking into love in the Regency period, it was impossible to ignore the trading platform that was the marriage market. P.S. Sir William Temple supports the notion of a marriage market, stating that marriages are made through conventional contracts. Our marriages are made just like other common bargains and sales, by the mere consideration of interest and gain, without any love or esteem. The marriage market was a term used to describe the business-like transaction that was marriage in the period. It allowed parents of a reasonable standing to display their daughters who were declared out in society to the eligible and available suitors. This provided the suitors the chance to shop around and decide which female was most eligible and which would provide them with the greatest benefit and profit. Achievements, age, status and dowry would all play a role and aid the admirer in his choice of bride. In Persuasion, Austen displays the parading of eligible suitors at parties and gatherings, and continually has her character discussing each other's eligible status and possible partnerships. So, this painting by Edward Long, painted in 1875, depicts a Babylonian marriage market. Many have likened this to the English courtship scene. Born in Bath, Long would have witnessed this happening firsthand in the settings of Regency Bath and the pump rooms, rather than a Middle Eastern auction market of women. This exhibits a caricature of the Georgian marriage market. So status. Status was the most influential factor for marriage amongst the gentry and nobility. Austen addresses the importance of equality in ranks throughout the novel. Wentworth could not match Anne. The quote here, Anne Elliot, with all her claims of birth and beauty and mind, to throw herself away at 19, involve herself at 19 in an engagement with a young man who had nothing but himself to recommend him and no hopes of attaining affluence, suggests that Anne is far superior in all worthy attributes and therefore is more eligible than he, who has no status or profession and therefore no reassurance of character and future prospects. Even after his elevated status to naval captain, for Sir Walter nothing had really changed. It was still in his opinion baronetage with its emphasis on inherited rank that mattered personally and socially. Through Wentworth, Austen presents the reader with a more realistic view of romance and status. Drum also recognises that the fairy tale of the early novels has disappeared. There are no Mr. Darcys, no Mr. Knightleys, and no handsome-minded princes. Perhaps this is because Austen herself had become disillusioned with the fairy tale due to her own circumstances. Austen's presentation of the character Mary gives a voice to the upper-class stereotype. Dear me, if he should rise to any very great honours, if he should ever be made a baronet. This shows that although the character Wentworth is already highly thought of, without a baronet status, he will never be truly worthy of them. So this image here is taken from a newspaper from 1817, and it shows the amount of influence and importance status has in society. The inclusion of residence, full title and rank stresses the high priority of status for a wedding union in the Regency period. For example, here you can see captain, esquire and reverend are mentioned above people without noticeable or elevated status like Mr. which is elevated. So fortune. Fortune is another prioritised factor of eligibility. Austen demonstrates that obtained fortune and profession elevates status and increases eligibility. Captain Wentworth, with £25,000 and as high in his profession as merit and activity could place him, was no longer nobody. Austen also presents this through Wentworth's popularity with the young Musgroves. His newly acquired fortune and captain title make him most eligible in their social circle. Unlike Wentworth, who betters himself to be able to marry, Mr. Elliot marries to get his fortune. Mr. Elliot had one object in view: to make his fortune. He was determined to make it by marriage. This suggests an unhonourable way of procuring a fortune and defies the sanctity of marriage. Austen further states that this was a common way for a fortune and status to be gained. When one lives in the world, a man marrying for money is too common to strike one as it ought. However, sometimes these unions formed for money were undertaken out of duty to preserve the family's interests, and therefore not solely unhonourable but lacked love, which should be the foundation and basis of any true marriage. Barbara Lee Smith's essay on women and work draws upon the idea of duty. The distinction between love and money perpetuated the conflict between desire and duty. The idea of familial responsibility is equal to that of love. This dedication to family is further enhanced by the role of the parental figures and their influence over the match. So, in Persuasion, the character of Anne adheres to the advice and wishes of her elders, dismissing her love for Wentworth to fulfil her familial duty. Sir Walter, on being applied to, gave it all the negative of great astonishment, great coldness, great silence, and professed resolution of doing nothing for his daughter. He thought it a very degrading alliance, and Lady Russell received it as the most unfortunate one. Austen's reputation of great and easy degrading makes Sir Walter's views unmistakable. He does not sanction the match. In What Is a Woman to Do, the patriarchal ownership of the children's lives stresses to the submissive stance the daughter assumes, permitting the father to forfeit their happiness for the family's gain, the long-standing family injustice of sacrificing daughters to sons. So, for women, age was a concerning factor of eligibility. As they got older, they became less desirable to be suitors for the purpose of producing heirs, which many men looked for in a wife. For Elizabeth, nearing the age of 30, was a dangerous age for remaining on the marriage market. She was fully satisfied with being still quite as handsome as ever, but she felt her approach to the years of danger, and would have rejoiced to be certain of being properly solicited by a baronet blood within the next 12 months. This again could be seen as a reflection of Jane's own experience as she did not marry. As mentioned in many Austen novels, an accomplished woman was more desirable to a suitor than an unaccomplished one. It not only demonstrated a good education, but provided the suitor with a list of boastful attributes to increase her eligible status. Anne, very much preferring the office of musician to a more active post, a kindness which always recommended her musical powers. This quote shows how a display of these talents attracted attention and admiration. What Is a Woman to Do also exaggerates the pointlessness of these accomplishments in the running of the household, none of which are practical for starting a family. The ordinary lot of woman is to marry. Has anything in his education prepared her to make a wise choice in marriage? No, but she's a linguist, a pianist, graceful, admired. These accomplishments are admirable and show eligibility and wealth, however are useless on a practical level. So, as I mentioned throughout this presentation, Persuasion was Austen's last novel, and is generally acknowledged to be her most reflective and honest work. Moral society is questioned, and the fairy tale of her previous text is somewhat removed. Although Jane had several flirtations, most notably around 1796 with Tom Lefroy, it is thought that elders did not approve of the match and he was sent away. And years later, he admitted that he had been in love with her. This seems very similar to Anne's predicament, and therefore it's easy to see how parallels have been drawn. She comments frankly and has first-hand experience of the cruel stipulations of marriage, and in the Regency period, and the prejudice of hierarchical society. So I will leave you with a children's rhyme from the Georgian era about the marriage market and how the importance of eligibility playfully entered the lives of generations to come.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Can I ask you a little bit more about place in this context? You did mention Bath briefly. Can you say more, perhaps, about how important where you were was in terms of whether you could marry or not?
So the marriage market was mainly set in around Bath in the area, and the Pump Rooms was the perfect meeting place. And what you would do is, to say that you were actually in Bath in the town, you'd sign your name so people would know, and they'd be expecting you at all the balls and the parties and the extravagant meetings that you'd go to. And it was, when it was like a holiday time, people would come to Bath when they were taking the waters or they were doing their thing, and that's when you'd know when the marriage market was most in front of you.
So you more or less went to Bath to get married?
Yes.
Okay. So how does this apply? Do you know much about this application to other towns? Because obviously if you live in Yorkshire, it's a bit of a hike.
I mean, obviously London and other places were very well known for the marriage market, but Bath was most renowned for it. It's in a lot of other texts as well. I think Evelina, she goes to the pump rooms and it's a marriage market there when you sign your name.
Okay, so signing your name signs you down to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
My son is at Royal Holloway, where that picture, that amazing long picture,
Yeah.
is in their gallery. And you said it was a satire, you kind of plonked that fact down,
Yeah, well,
didn't expand.
Yeah. Because you've likened that to Bath, and I put a question mark by that in my...
Well, he was from Bath, and I thought that maybe, although he's written it and it is of a Middle Eastern place, that perhaps because he'd grown up in Bath and he'd seen it all happen at the pump rooms and the pomp of the ceremony and how everyone would go there, that, you know, perhaps it was more of a, maybe it was a play on that, but he made it more like it was a market in an auction. So it was just a, perhaps
That's my
that's take
your
on
reading.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just,
Okay. Thanks, Natasha. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to go now, folks. Sorry. I'll see you next week. I'm going to put stuff up on